Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, my lovelies, my beauties, my royalties. Oh, take that really, really, really deep breath. And my beautiful friend, I hope you have a great and amazing flight. I know you're on the flight right now, and this episode's probably going up. I have no idea when. But I will send you the link to this episode so at least you knew, or you know, that I thought of you. But you're going to have an amazing flight and give everyone hugs. I adore you. You're amazing. You're a rock star. And thank you for helping me through these days where after Mr. Spider did what he did, you've really helped me in so many ways. And you're one of the only ones who, after I say I give up on love, or I need a break, and or I need to freeze my eggs and just call it like whatever, you're the only one that tells me, take him back, see if you can have another chance, or don't you dare give up, don't you stop. Like, you're the only one. So thank you. Okay, so anyway, let's Patreon. Don't forget about my Patreon because I've got receipts for days, babies. This is a dating nightmare episode. So, yeah, just let's get that boiling, scorching hot tea out, that petty, petty tea. Might need a little ginger today. A little ginger, a little sugar, a little, gonna dress it up a little bit. Because this is gonna be church trauma versus dating nightmares. Because, yeah, as a Christian, but more spiritual Christian, my whole religion, yeah, after the trauma, yeah. And some people judge me for the trauma. Well, you're supposed to look past all that. How dare you? You're sinning because now you're going against the. I'm not going against. I'm defending my mental health. But yeah, a lot of the things I've heard from the Christian community, because even with my disability, you can still pray it away. Yes, maybe the church said a few things here and there, but you could still, if you stop praying, it's just going to get worse. You're just going to, oh. And on that note, because yeah, church trauma and dating nightmare. When I first saw Mr. Spider's profile, I saw that he's not religious. And that gave me a sigh of relief. Because even now, after the breakup, like I keep getting conservative men. I keep getting conservative and religious men to a point where now I'm thinking of going to all of my dating apps and taking off religion. Because I'm not going to say atheist because I'm not atheist. But at the same time, a lot of the things, especially, like so many of the churches say, if you're Republican or if you're Christian, you vote Republican. Do you know, like when I used to be on, oh, I forgot the name of the app. But yeah, they literally kicked off everybody or and hired, like, yeah, it was such a hot mess. But it was kind of like a radio, like you can have your own radio show kind of thing. They asked and begged me to be on the app for months. And then like 2 or 3 years later, yeah, everybody that they begged. Anyway, um, do you know how many times I would just talk on the show and just talk about, yes, I'm a Christian and I'm liberal, and because I talk politics and a lot of the things I talk about on here. And then you can have guests or people come on and talk with. So many times the Christian, especially Christian white men, how dare you vote Democrat? You're not a true Christian. You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, you're an idiot. You're stupid. Oh, that's why you women shouldn't go to college. I got that more than once. I got that more than 5 times. Men telling me that I shouldn't have gone to college because now I don't vote the way I'm supposed to vote. I don't just follow what my bishop and pastor say just because they say it. No, I don't do that. But yeah, with my dating app, it does say Christian because I want people to know. But now I'm like, do I want them to know? Because okay, real quick, switch it off. There's this one guy that was interested in me, and I let him know, oh yeah, we're not compatible because he didn't put his politics. Most men who hide their politics lean Republican. And he asked me, why do you think we're not compatible? And there was a few reasons, but I let him know that one. And he's like, oh, wow. He was like, you pay attention to that, or you look at that. He was like, I actually lean Democrat, but I don't want to scare any women away. And, but I was like, I might tell him, yeah, okay, yeah, hide it because, yeah, we're not compatible anyway. So like, it might just be me. There's not that many women who are into politics as much as I am. So but it's after we had such amazing conversation, and I'm not going to say his name, but I will say the stuff he's going on with right now, I understand, and one step at a time, and life is so fast and so short, but and others, yeah, you never know what's going to happen the next day. So anyway, but yeah, we ended up having wonderful conversation even though we're not compatible. And that's one experiment that I've been trying to have. Like, can I find friends? Like, if we're not compatible, can we just be friends? But most men only match with women that they're quote unquote compatible, like attracted to, not compatible, attracted to. But they think compatibility means attract physically and only physically. Some only because I like anime. Oh, that's the only reason. You like anime, so that means that like yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in another episode, but I'm gonna have a whole series because it's over since the breakup. I've asked several men, and it's scary how they do not care about much of the profile. And even when I say politics, some of them start swearing. They're like, "Who the f cares about that? Why do you care? You're a woman." And oh yeah, yeah. So, but Mr. Spider saw on my profile that I have that I am a Christian. And on his profile, I saw that he's not. I was fine with that because part of me, I'm just like, oh, I can talk to him. I can, I can even say my kinky, naughty jokes, and he's not gonna say you're a lady, you're a Christian woman. I'm a kinky. Like they say, watch out for the Christian girls and the nerds. Anyway, but I was excited because I looked at his profile and I saw the divorce, and I'm just like, okay. So, and it reminded me of Mr. No Heart, but at the same time, I'm like, not every guy who's going through a divorce, but now I like, it's like now when I see men saying they're separated or newly divorced, especially, swipe left. I don't have to, no. I see a pattern, I see patterns, and no. I, my heart doesn't deserve to be hurt that like that anymore. The trauma, no. And it is funny because Mr. Spider's like, you wear your trauma like your armor. Oh, he's equipped me with so much armor, and it was only a little over 5 months. It was our half anniversary, actually. Literally, he broke up with me on our half anniversary. Oh, but within those months, the the armor And because now emotional intimacy is like, that was my, I found out that's my best trait. That's one reason why so many of my past exes try to come back in my life. And that's when I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Like, no, no, no. You don't get round two. Leave me alone. And then sometimes they get their cousins' phone numbers to call me. Sometimes they try to email. Yeah. I think Mr. Spider knows, not like I thought he did, but then the 3rd of July, yeah, I talk about that in another episode. But yeah, I know it's only been over like a month or 5 weeks or whatever, but yeah, he already wants wanted to meet again. I hope he doesn't want to anymore, because part of me, I'm just like, you broke up with me, you hurt me, you used me, you literally admitted that you used me, but now you want to see me face to face. Why in the world would I ever want to? But okay, back to the religion part. So it's like, but yeah, I start chatting with him, and I, it's like, I went over, I have a disability. That's going to be another series about that part of my armor. And the Christian, I'm like, yeah, I'm a Christian. I grew up like that, but I'm very liberal. I'm not like, I'm not strict with that at all. It's like, and I even told him, I like that you're not religious. I feel comfortable with that. And he acted like he was like, okay, okay. But on my channel, I've mentioned and talked about my church trauma. And I mentioned that I wanted to read yesteryear so that I can go over my church trauma and talk and compare, because when I was listening to the author in different interviews talk about yesteryear, and some of the things she brought up reminded me of the church services and things that my pastor and bishop said. And so that's why I want to read it. It's because I want to cover it on the show, and even on the nerd channel. And I guess by mistake, like with K dramas, I was looking for new ones, and like some of the K dramas aren't translated into English and stuff. So it's like, but then I saw Heavenly Ever After, and at first I wasn't gonna watch it because I'm like, no. It's like, I don't know if it's gonna be like, oh shoot, what do you call that Tyler? I think it was a Tyler Perry movie, the room with the, the prayer sheets and all that. Like, yeah, it's like, it was a good movie, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just, I don't like the movies where they're, and I know that's part of Christianity, where it's like a sales thing where they're trying to get you in and stuff. But after being traumatized so much, it makes me cringe. I feel like I want to vomit when I get the, like, just no, I can't. But I mentioned that because, like, and I've mentioned so many K dramas with him, but I realized, yeah, he doesn't like K dramas because Genie Make a Wish. Oh my gosh, and maybe it's because of the disability. Like, I understand how she feels misplaced and misunderstood, and it's because one thing I realized, he's not. He's actually terrible with emotions and being emotional. I've witnessed him cry, but expressive, no. Like, he's not. He can communicate and he can cry, but he's terrible at being emotional and diving in, digging in. Because especially with my episodes, yes, I tell some of the same stories, but a lot of people's actions are done for several different reasons in different ways. And some of the best books I've ever read, when you reread it, you find more. when you reread it, you see it in a different view. As you get older, even reading in different seasons, it's like you can get a different perspective because in that shows the human diversity and things. But yeah, whenever I would bring up certain things or even want to get to know him and his past, and because I tell everything because I want to show somebody I trust you. And also, this is my pain, this is my struggle. So, these are my weaknesses. I hope I can trust you with that. But that's one reason now. Yeah, one guy last night he blocked me because he asked if I watch horror movies. I was like, no. And he was like, oh yeah, you could watch one with me. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Why not? Because my life's been a horror movie. So why in the world would I sit and watch another? Why has it been a horror movie? I'd rather not say because I don't trust him. I don't trust anybody right now. I don't trust it. Like, okay, other than my friend that's in, you know, enjoy the flight, girl. But yeah, I hardly trust anybody right now. I have a family member right now who's enjoying this. Yeah, she's enjoying my pain. So yeah, yeah. But with the yesteryear book, I mentioned on my channel, and that's the thing. Like, he would mention things like, "Why do you keep mentioning this? Why do you do this? Why?" And he was like, "Why do you have long content? Have short content." Well, short content shows why our intelligence or the average intelligence and the average attention span is shrinking, is diluting, and things like that. The concept of communication is going down. And I listed a few reasons, but he didn't like that. He didn't like because, and he was like, "Well, yeah, stop bringing these things up." Um, hmm, all right. So then I was like, "Well, you don't have to watch it." He was offended because it was just like, okay, if you're no longer my demographic, I don't need, like, this is basically my public diary. So if you want to read it. But if you don't. Like, I'm not gonna, boy, like, boy, bye. You're gonna tell me how to write my, like, that's like when people try to tell me how to write my books. This is my channel. It comes from my heart. It comes from my truth, my story, my experiences, my trauma. And one big thing that's traumatized me is the church. But with some of my episodes, he heard me say that I plan on getting Yesteryear, but I also mentioned getting other books too. I mentioned getting other books too, but for some reason, he got me Yesteryear. And then with Heavenly Ever After, because he asked me, oh, what are you watching? Or what have you watched? And I've mentioned other anime to him. Like, I know why the house burned down. Genie Make a Wish, yeah, like the extraordinary lawyer Wu Young Woo. Oh, the girl with the super strength. It's only for the females in the family. I really, really like that one, but I can't remember the name. Oh, and she had that beautiful wand. It reminded me of Sailor Moon. It would open and it was 14 karat gold or 14 or 18 karat gold. I forgot which karat, but oh, it was so pretty. I'm like, oh, if I can ever get that, like, I, I would want one of those just to. Anyway, it's like, but yeah, I've mentioned so many other, but it's literally, if I just mentioned a church item, a one series or something that triggered him, it was like he thought, like, and I hardly ever brought it up, but it's like he kept count and added it up. And again, with Yesteryear, I talked about it on my channel. I never told him. I remember once I was making dinner and he was in the kitchen. And I was like, you know what? I think for my nerd channel, I think one cool experiment would be through our conversations and time with me. We can go to the bookstore and we can pick books for each other that we think the other would enjoy. Because like he told me his favorite book was is Project Hail Mary and everything, so that gave me a clue. But then also listening to him, it's like, yeah, I in my Excel sheet I had a list. I deleted everything. Oh, I had a whole thing for him. Deleted. I don't even. Yeah. No. I remember a couple of the titles, but no. I'm trying to forget them. But with everything, he heard that on my channel. He decided to listen to that. I never pressured him. And then with Heavenly Ever After, like he asked me what I watched. And I he knows I love K dramas and I watch anime too. And but yeah, it's like I was watching documentaries and true crime, but I don't know, like the true crime that I watched, it was pretty like sad and like I don't know, it's like and he was he's been having he was having a rough few or a couple or few to a couple or a couple to a few weeks. So to me, I'm just like, I don't want to give him anything dark before he goes to sleep. So I'm not going to mention the documentary. So I'm like, oh, I'll mention, I watched this K drama and it was a lot deeper than I thought. And it was interesting. And some of it did well, only like bits and pieces reminded me of the church, but it was it was beautiful with how they thought of life and death and what happens and of heaven. So and that's the part I brought up. And it's like I know he's not religious, but I just thought the plot and the storyline was beautiful. But he didn't even want me to talk about that. And I'm just like because there's one scene where okay, if you haven't seen it, skip a couple minutes, okay? But there's a fighter fighting a blaze and helping protecting a child. And he's at a point where he's like, okay, I'm not gonna like we're stuck, we're caught. And I think he's on the walkie-talkie telling people where he is. So he tells the boy, just, hold on, wear this mask. And he puts the mask on and he passes away. So he's in heaven and the it's like the stewardess of heaven, she's giving them directions and he's kind of sad about it, but you're just like, I saved a life. But that little boy, the little boy was so selfless that he didn't want the fighter to pass away, so he put the mask on the fighter. So he was in heaven. The little boy ended up in heaven too because he was trying to save the fighter. It was so beautiful. And that's the part I told him. But he didn't want to hear it. He didn't like, and it was nothing real. Like, I didn't think it was religious. I thought it showed selflessness. I thought it showed the innocence of a child and how the child, like, of course he didn't want to die, but he wasn't scared. It's like he wanted to help. And I even told him that little boy reminded me of him. But I guess it only reminded me of him because he was hiding behind emotions and his true thoughts of me. Because in reality, he never wanted to date a disabled woman, but he was desperate. He just wanted somebody. He knew that no one else would want me, so he was like, I'm gonna use her. So he wasn't like the fighter or the little boy. But yeah, I told him about that scene because that stood out the most to me. And even the animals, I was saying how I wish they showed the endangered animals. And even animals who, and also because as a human, you go back as a human, but when a dog, like a dog, but once you're endangered, what happens? Do you just stay there? Or do you get to be reincarnated as a different animal or a human? What happens? Because your species no longer exists. So, yeah, but those are the things I wanted to bring up to him. They weren't like they were more scientific than religious and more on theory, but like yeah, I I would never try to it's like yeah, he was scared that I would try to get him part of the church and I'm just like that's why I avoid conservative like no, I'm not it's I sometimes listen to church services, but I do that at home. I've never done that near him. And the he what's that woman's name? I always forget. Like I'm terrible with names. And she hasn't been in my feed in a while. I need to hunt her down. She's beautiful. She grew up in a very conservative church, but now she has tattoos. She's like Democrat, liberal, left. I don't know exactly. She's on the left, but it's like, but she knows that Bible front, back, like backwards, like it is the way she does it. And she talks about politics for like 5 or 15 minutes a day. But and the way her fashion, I love. But yeah, he listens to her too. So that's another reason why I just thought he was meant to be because I'm just like, yes. It's like she proves that we like yes, you don't have to be religious because yes, she the way she looks at things and digs into things, she looks at the history and concepts and so much more. So I I don't know, that's why I'm just kind of speechless. Chose to get that book for me. He chose to listen to that episode. Like once I mentioned yesteryear and once I mentioned church trauma, he could have just changed that, turned it off or listened to something else. With that Heavenly Ever After, he, I've mentioned other K dramas, but he acts like that's the only one I ever listened to. I've been through a lot. So I'm not trying, do I pray? Yeah, but I'm I'm nowhere near the church girl that I used to be. I'm nowhere near it's freeing because now I do things just because I think they're right. And now I feel like I'm living the life that once my days are gone, with the golden gates and they're just gonna be like, girl, yeah, you did your thing. We're happy. It's like you lived the life that's pure and good because you wanted to, not because you were in fear or scared. That's what I want. And that's why I adored him because I thought he was good just because he wanted to be good. And I a lot of the Christian conservative men is like that's not what the Bible says. Do what the Bible says. Do what the Bible like. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mm-hmm. It's like you want me to follow all these directions while you pick and choose the directions, and then you tell me because you're a man that you don't have to do certain things or follow or listen to a woman, or that you get the patriarchy in the church scares the crap out of me. And that's another reason why I'm probably going to be taking it off of all of my dating profiles for my mental health, for my physical health. And I want to be me. It's like for me, the church it felt like a cage. I need to be able to find me. I need to find me, you know. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.